Hello guys, and welcome back to my next tutorial. In this episode what we're going to be going over is a very simple saving and loading system. I'm going to be using mainly the third person character blueprint that we've been working with for the past few tutorials. And yeah, let's get started. I've already gone ahead and made myself a player save object. To do that, just go to content browser, right click, go to blueprint class, and in this little drop down you just click on this arrow to drop it down, save game. You just make a save game object there. After called my player save, and if I just delete this, you just need to add in a very quick variable and call it player transform. I've made mine a transform. It will probably be a boolean by default. Just make that transform, it'll be fine. Now in third person character blueprint, we're going to be making two more custom events, and these will be save game, and just Control-B, it should duplicate that, and load game. By the way, I am actually planning to do some of the requests over the weekend. It's just that I haven't had time to, and this is stuff that I do know how to do off the top of my head. So don't worry, I am working on that. It's just that they take a little bit more time. Anyway, compile that to get rid of the error and save game. Let's work on this one first. In the save game, what we want to do is we want to check if there's a slot that's available. So does save game exist? And the slot name, I've already gone ahead and made a variable for it. But you literally just drag off this, promote to variable, call it what you want, and there you go. Should also probably get rid of that to go through it properly with you guys. From the return value, what we want to do is a branch. So if the save game exists, then we want to just quickly double check if it's a valid save game. And if it's false, then we want to create it. Let's do the creation first. So create save game object. And the save game class is going to be that object that you just created in the content browser. From the return value, we want to promote this to a variable. I'm going to put my player save data. Now, from here, we're going to drag off here and drag off the return value for that and set player transform. And this is going to be where both of our branches recombine. But before this true value goes into here, what we need to do is drag this out, choose get, right click, and convert to validated get. What this will do is it'll basically check if the object has a value, if it's not null, apparently. So drag this off of here and drag this over here, and if it's valid, great, that goes into there. If it's not valid, then we create a new save game object and we set it so it is definitely going to be valid the next time we check it. And so set the player transform. To do that, we just right click, actor transform, and drag this return value into there and save game to slot. The save game object is going to be the object that we just promoted to a variable. The slot name is going to be our variable that we created a minute ago. For testing purposes, let's make it print string as well. I'm going to make mine a bit fancy by using an append, but you don't have to do this. This is literally just for me to test that it's definitely working. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering where to find your save games on your system, go to your directory and just go to where you've saved your project, go to your saved folder and save games, and it should be in here. Now, I've been doing some testing with this to make sure everything's working, but yeah, yours will probably be empty before you run this through for the first time. So, to test that this is definitely working, I'm going to bind mine to the 8 key. You don't have to do this. We will go through how to bind this to a UI element in the pause menu that we went through last time. So if we press the number 8, it should save, and it does. Great. Now, let's focus on the loading of the data. If we go back for me, there we go. Now I'm just going to quickly give myself a bit more space than I have here to do this. So again, we're going to check if the save game exists with the same slot name, and it's going to be fed into yet another branch. So if this is going to be very different from the saving, because well, saving and loading are two sides of the same coin. So if it does exist, if there is data, then we want to load that data. Come on, there we go. Load game from slot. If you're wondering what the difference between the async and the normal is, the async does the loading and the saving separately from the main game, so it doesn't cause as many lag and heights and stuff like that. It's a lot more useful if you've got massive amounts of data that you need to save in one big go. But if it's a pause menu or something like we're doing, then the normal should be fine. So drag the slot name into there, and return value, this is just going to be a generic save game object, so what we need to do is cast to the player save. From here, get player transform, and from here, set actor transform. So if it's false, i.e. there is no data, then what we want to do is just set this to null. So essentially, when we save it for the next time, it will go through this bit here and create a new object. So if we play it and go to say this corner over here, and you save it and go over here, and I'll press. I didn't bind it. I keep forgetting to bind the event. Press 9, then we load game. If this works, then that's the majority of the legwork done. So if I go over here and press 9, it jumps back. Now, if we go to the UI and to the pause menu, then we shall add in 2 more buttons, one for saving, one for loading. If it will ever load, which is kind of ironic for this tutorial, isn't it? There we go. So what do we want? We want to Control C on that, click on the canvas panel and then Control V. The reason is that it pastes it as a child of the object that you've got selected, and buttons can't take on more than one child, I think. So yeah, and you can't change the position of 2 buttons at once apparently. And we want this to be minus. We want this to remain at the current position, so minus 50. We want the resume to be moved up, so minus 300. And we want this button to be moved down slightly, so 300 on the Y. Why did that change so much compared to the others? Let's try 250. 200. That looks good. Okay, so this button I'm going to add a little bit to say save, and change the text to save game, and I'm going to change the button name here. It's always good to have meaningful names for stuff. That's one thing you'll note about this sort of stuff, is that you really always want to keep your names meaningful and easily understandable. So I'm just going to quickly change the button that we made the other day to resume. We're going to be building up this this pause menu up a little bit as well. I'm planning to do some collectibles as well, so you can click a button here and it will show you the list of all the collectibles you've got so far. You can re-inspect them, stuff like that. We've got some pretty cool stuff planned. So go to the save button, or whatever you called yours. In the details panel, just scroll all the way down and you should see the events tab here. On clicked, what we want to do is, from the player reference, we want to save game. And similarly, in the button /load, we want to just call that event again. Load game. Now you can of course make this system a lot more complicated using game instances and stuff like that and to save the world states and stuff like that, but there are tutorials out there for that as well though. And I don't want to copy other people if I can help it. If you guys are wondering how to expand your gaming system further, then I would really recommend Ryan Laley's videos. Just in general for Unreal, he's really good. He's taught me how to use it. So if I get rid of these, power it, and go back. So if I pause it, and actually no, I should probably move away from the. So go to here, save game. You can see that it did save it. Resume. Go over here, load the game, and it'll pop back. I should. Why is my? Give me just one moment, guys. I think I missed something in the last tutorial about it. No, it should. I'll have to look at that. I don't know why the mouse is acting up like that. Does it do it in the viewport as well? If I pause, resume. Yeah. I'll have to have a little look up that, but it shouldn't be that difficult. Should that be it? Okay, yeah, guess I was wrong in the last tutorial. But yeah. Does that work for this load game as well? Yeah. You can also have this run in the background as well while you're loading the level. A little trick that some people like to use is have the main menu or the loading menu the image overlaying the level just end after you've loaded everything, like set the axe transform and all this sort of stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's the tutorial for another day. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you've got any other suggestions for what I can do, how can I improve my channel, just in general, just general feedback, that would be great. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.